basically either you spend so many hours or you spend with us. The choice is yours. Hello everyone, welcome to this session of Introductory Session MRCOG Part 2 for the 2025 batches, January and July. This session, we are going to talk about the exam preparation for the MRCOG Part 2. You must have gone through the multiple videos from multiple courses about this. But in this video, what is different today? In this session, what we are going to discuss differently from the other sources. So, hello, Dr. Vijaya. Hello. Hello. So good to have you all here. Yeah. Okay, so what I was talking of that today in this session, it is largely focused on less study, more success. I think this is the dream of every candidate, that they study less and they achieve the success in a very fastest way. So that is what our dream is too. So ensures your success in 70% less study time. MRCOG Part 2 exam is known to be for being a toughest and the scariest exam. And the most common frequently asked questions from the candidates is how long it will take to prepare. I have got kids. I have got to go to the duties. I have got work. I have my family. Can I do MRCOG Part 2? So these are the frequently asked questions. Am I right? What do you all guys say? Yes or no? What are your thoughts about it? You can unmute and speak. We can have an interactive session. Yes, Dr. Naina. Good. Thank you for answering. Yes, yes, Doctor. Great. Yes, Dr. Amin Bola, Dr.
Yes.
Shobha. Yes.
Yes, madam.
So everybody agrees to that? That there are
Yes, ma'am.
seems
Yes,
to be a
madam.
barrier. And even I come across frequently many students who have passed like part 1 exam quite a few years back, but they are not able to take up part 2 because they have an impression that it's going to be the one of toughest things I'm going to face. Yes, Dr. Lakshmi, Dr. Rani, they all are in the favor of same. Okay. So do you think, can there be any strategy where we can prepare in 70% less study time? So is it possible? Is it possible that we can do a preparation in 70% less study time? Is it possible? What do you all think? Yeah?
Maybe not possible.
Not possible, yes. How
Maybe
many of
not
you
possible.
think not possible? How many of you? Difficult, Dr. Nana says, Dr. Vijay says no. Yes. So, is there anyone who says that, yes, it is possible? Okay. So, let's see what Dr. Tanu has to say. She is one of our alumni.
Hello friends, I am
Yes, okay.
Dr. Tanu Soni. I am consultant gynecologist in Super Specialty Hospital in Palwal in Delhi NCR region. Preparing along with job and small kid at home was not easy, but due to hard work of ma'am and very intelligently designed posts, including all the summaries of guidelines, live sessions, videos, it has made the journey so smooth that I passed this exam in a single attempt. And I am very thankful to Bhawna ma'am for this. I really enjoyed studying along with ma'am. I prepared for total 5 months along with ma'am, and trust me, it actually takes 70% less time as promised by ma'am. Continuous support, 24/7 Telegram group support by ma'am, very supportive, very helpful for the students. I have also joined ma'am for my part 3 preparation. I trust her that she will do her best to make her students pass it single attempts.
So, can you relate with this story? Is this the story of everyone here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
I
madam.
think majority of the students, majority of the candidates who are preparing for the exam are going through the similar phase of life, right? So, can you please mute when you are not like answering? You can just mute yourself. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so today's agenda is we are going to understand the exam syllabus. We are going to talk about what are the strategies for effective exam preparation. I'm not talking of only exam preparation because we can cover the syllabus, but we are not covering in a proper way to get the success. So effective exam preparation, when I add effective word, that means that it should come up to on the success. The final destination should be reached. Overview of the course structure, how we work on it, and then followed by the question and answer session. Of course, this complete session is going to be interactive. You can anytime ask your questions in between, but in the end, we will definitely have more time for the questions. So this is how we are going to talk today in this particular session. Anything else you want me to talk today in this session? Or is this going to answer your questions, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
So here is another review. I just want to show you this so that you build up confidence.
Sudanese OB-GYN specialist working in Saudi Arabia. I had cleared my MRCOG Part 2 last January. I would like to thank Dr. Bhawna Khera so much. I had a preparation course which helped me a lot throughout the preparation for the MRCOG. You know that the stress of work, having families, having babies, having responsibilities, it made my life easier and easier. A lot of sources for reading, sources for exams, MCQs, single best answer questions, live sessions, and revision, all of them all together in one place. It was very nice, arranged in module wise. So everything was just listed and prepared. All you have to do just you go through this one, and it saved me a lot of time really to have that one. Having every module just full of the green top guidelines, the top article, the even single best answer questions, and the EMQ. And again, she was very patient, very helpful, very supportive throughout the whole duration for the preparation. I strongly advise everyone who want to just clear physics or hard exam so easily. Just you have to have this one. Thank you very much. Thank for everyone of the team of Dr. Bhawna. Good luck.
So basically, as you see that, you can very well relate to these stories, right? This is a story of everyone. So let's talk how we can walk together. So let's walk together, walking together hand in hand, we face whatever challenges come our way. It's time to craft your path of success. So how can this path of success be? First, let's start with the exam syllabus. I think majority of you must have gone through some parts of the syllabus here and there. Some of those you might have also appeared previously on the exam in the exam, and some are new, right? So the syllabus of the part 2 exam is divided into modules. So as you see, these are the names of the modules: the clinical skills, teaching and research, core surgical skills, post-operative care, antenatal care, maternal medicine, labor, delivery, postpartum, and on, right? So these are 14 modules which we have to study for the part 2 exam. Now they have marked the yellow ones. These yellow ones are for the part 2. So your capabilities in practice should match these. So basically you see that all of the modules are covered in the part 2 exam. Now this syllabus seems to be like very haphazard, very difficult to understand. But to make it easy, we are going to divide our guidelines, our talk articles, SIPs, what all materials we have to read. We are going to divide them into the module wise. And it's always good to study, cover one by one each module. Now, the most frequently asked question again is, what are the books recommended for reading? Because till now in our lives, whenever we have to appear for the exams, the first thing we ask from our seniors, from our teachers is, what are the books for this particular exam? But here, no books. No books. If you are following books, you are missing something, right? Because the every time the guideline changes, book is published, right? It will be updated in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years at some point of time. But the guidelines keep on changing, right? In the next 6 months, maybe 1 or 2 guidelines change. The new TOG articles enter. The SIP, new SIP are released, right? Sometimes the FIGO staging changes. So the things are getting updated. So the most important thing is the reading material should be collected directly from the Google search or from the RCOG website and not from any other published sources, right? Because you need the updated material for the exam. And it's not at all difficult. If you want to pick up a green top guideline, just text this green top guideline number this and it is available on your Google, or you can enter your RCOG website homepage and search there. There also you will get the green top guidelines. So we have green top guidelines, we have NICE guidelines, we have TOG articles, we have SIPs, we have BASH guidelines for the sexual health module. Then FSRH is for the contraception. BSG is for the minimally invasive surgeries. Then there is RCOG e-learning and website. Certainly there are some FIGO stagings, some British hematology guideline for the NTT. So there are multiple sources from where we have to pick up the reading material. Now, so what it is? We know that there are almost 72 green top guidelines. NICE guidelines are many, but we have to deal with only which are related to our gynae topics. So there are almost 15 or maybe like 20 guidelines which we have to read. TOG articles, every year we have 4 issues and each TOG article can have 5 to 6 articles. Okay. So overall in the year, you may have a 20 to 24 articles from there. SIPs, they keep on coming and then changes. What are actually SIPs? SIPs are usually published on the topics which do not have a clear recommendation as of yet, right? The discussions are going on, work is going on. There is some clue towards any evidence, but still there are not recommendations. Because once the recommendations are there, then the new guideline comes up and the practice is recommended. But SIP is something before that. So therefore, whenever a new topic discussion is going on, the SIP comes. So SIPs are important. BASH guidelines, infections, all the STIs, they are very important part of the exam. So we have multiple of these. Now, if I read one guideline daily, or maybe sometimes if there is a small guideline, I might read 2 guidelines daily. But again, some of the NICE guidelines may be very big and they may require 2 days. So what do you think? In how many days I can cover this all things I've lined up here in front of you on the screen? You can see the total here is already up to 90 and there are many other things beyond that. So what could be the possible number of days you would take to go through these guidelines and these all material one reading at least? Anybody would like to comment?
Minimum 6 months.
Minimum 6 months. Okay, Dr. Vijaya also says 6 months.
So I agree to 6 months.
6 months, at least 6 months. So we have 6 months for the exam, right? Even not complete 6 months, we have almost 5.5 months, right? So one reading only we can make for this guidelines. 3 months, you can do in 3 months, very good. So basically, I'll keep it as 4 months, right? One reading needs 4 months if you are dedicating 4 to 5 hours daily. Am I correct in this calculation? You are on the same page? right? Everybody agrees? Okay, yes, thank you, Dr. Lakshmi, Dr. Vijaya, yes. So here it is now, coming to the next thing. Yes, thank you, Dr. Nana. Now, this is the main source of your reading. Now, what next? What next I have to talk about is, thank you, Dr. Honey. So now, we know that guidelines are the initial stepping stones, right? Now, guidelines are the initial stepping stones while we pass on to the path of success. What percentage of the study we have done if we have gone through the guidelines once? It is not more than 30% or 40%. Okay. So we have spent almost 4 months and we have read only 30% of the exam material, right? So now the next thing is, when we come to the next part, we have to do the questions, because if we read the guideline and we do not solve the questions, there is a gap. We can't fill that gap just by reading the guidelines. We have to practice the questions. So these are the books which are recommended for your question solving. Andrew Sizer, Get Through, MRCOG, Part 2 Rekha. Then there is Justin Konje. And there are many, many books here. Some of them are old, but still they are very good and they have a very good collection of questions. Now, looking at all this, now you must be thinking, Madam is showing so many books and then she is saying, I'm going to prepare you in less than 70% time. How she is going to do this? Because there are a lot many books to solve. And if you ask me, yes, you should solve the books, because the more number of questions you solve, you are more prepared. So I will add another 1 to 2 months to this. Am I right in that? Shall I add 1 to 2 months more? Right or no? Agree? I need your, like, what you all feel. Yes, right. Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ani, Rani, Dr. Vijaya. Then I come to RCOG e-learning. How much time this will take? If at all you are reading only the questions, you are solving only the questions from the RCOG e-learning, then again, another 50 to 20 days. I'm not taking about the reading material. I'm just taking if you are only solving the questions, right? So another 15, 20 days I must add. And we all know that strategy is a very important thing, because they are the questions which are closest to the exam questions. So that is the another big source for the exam. And secondly, you should know how they are answering the strategy questions. So discussing those questions, practicing those questions is a very important part of exam preparation. So what are sources we have talked till now? We have talked about the guidelines. Then we talked about the books which are having the questions. Then we talked about the RCOG e-learning. Now the fourth important source for the exam reading is your recalls. If you start from the 2015 till date, every year you have 400 questions, right? 200 in each exam, okay? And sometimes in between the years, they also used to have 3 exams, right? So it is almost somewhere between 3,500 to 4,000 questions. It's a huge question bank, huge, around 3,500 to 4,000 question banks. And I would say, please don't go to exam if you have not done this, okay? Because once you start doing the recalls, you will find how different they are from the guidelines. If you have not focused on the points which they are asking in the exam, it's very difficult to recollect the information and coming to answer. There are so many distractors in the question, then you can easily just sway away with the question and you can miss answering your exam question. Anybody who has attempted the exam before, if you are here, then you can just let me know, am I telling right or wrong? Anybody who has appeared in exam before? Yes, thank you, Dr. Nana. So yes, this is very correct. Yes. No, Dr. Hani? Don't you agree with this? You have a different opinion? Yes, I would like to.
I didn't appear, ma'am.
Okay, you didn't appear, right. Yes, Dr. Meena. Yes, Dr. Abimbola. So those who have appeared, they know very well that the points they asked, you have just mugged up the guideline, you know each and every sentence, but still when you go to exam, you find, oh my God, from where this question is, right? So it's a huge question bank. So when you have to solve this, I add another 1 to 2 months for this. So now, my God, where I am, 8 to 10 months. Shall I appear in the next July if I start preparing now? So, no. How many days you have spent? You have spent almost 6, 8, 10 months. This too, if you are reading regularly and spending your time. So,
hello everyone, I am Dr. Gayatri Sharma and I have cleared my MRCOG Part 2 this January 2024 after clearing Part 1 last July 2023 in my first attempt within a preparation of 5 months. For this, I would like to thank my mentor, Dr. Bhawna ma'am, because the content that she provided was enough for me to devote less time in my study hours, and I was able to manage with my work as well. And the videos, the worksheets, the live sessions, and the recall sessions, everything is so precise and so concise that it was very helpful. To be honest, I did not go through any of the guidelines that in that depth because ma'am's notes and ma'am's videos were enough for that. Hello.
so let's do the strategic planning for you. I will here talk about the self-study versus studying under guidance, right? Because some of you might prefer to go about with the self-study. So the session is open for all. So we'll be talking both ways, whether you want to go through your own route or you want to go through the guided route, right? So when you are preparing a timetable for yourself, what is the good way of doing that? There are two ways where you can actually cover up your syllabus. So either you read guideline wise, okay? You cover up guideline wise. So what are the pros and cons? When you go guideline wise, you are paying attention to each and every guideline. You can divide your time, whatever time you have, according to the number of guidelines per day, right? So if you want to cover in 2 months, you will have to do 3 guidelines in a one day, sometimes maybe 4 also. And then again, you have to put an effort to find out the questions from the books, because most of the books, some are module wise, some are not even module wise, they are mixed. Some books are module wise, but I don't think there is any book which is guideline wise, right? So it is easy, it is systematic to read guideline wise, but the difficulty is that you read the guidelines and you cannot solve the questions then and there. And by the time you come to the questions, you are like not fresh with that guideline, your concepts are not fixed. But yes, this is a very good, and many of the groups you might have seen, they put up a schedule in their group that today you have to read this guideline, tomorrow you will read this guideline. Like this, they give you the timetable and the schedule. So many people follow this, and this has its advantages that you will cover all your guidelines, and whatever guidelines you are reading, you can be thorough with that. But again, the gap between the guideline and the question cannot be filled by this particular thing, because the books do not provide you the guideline wise questions. If you start searching the books, you go through the 10 books and search a question, then you will spend almost 2 to 3 hours searching, and you will find 10 questions out of that. So it's a huge effort. Coming on to the next way, module wise. This is better than the guideline wise schedule. If you are doing a self-study, then it is advisable that you take, either you do it yourself or you take help of any of the person who has passed, and create a list for yourself. If like I'm talking about the sub-fertility, then I know I have to go through the NICE infertility guidelines, NICE endometriosis guideline, GTG OHSS is in this part. For male infertility, we have TOG articles. For polycystic ovarian disease, we have another TOG article. Then we have WHO type 1 anovulation TOG, then we have ART TOG, then there is a surrogacy TOG as well. So these are few of the resources for the sub-fertility module. So you can create this type of list for yourself and go module wise for your exam preparation, right? Important is you should know what are the correct sources of information. Like nice endometriosis is there. There is also Escherich's endometriosis. And I have seen it's a very big guideline. Escherich's guideline is a very, very big guideline. No doubt it's a very good guideline and extensively meant. But again, I say that we have to talk about effective exam preparation. I want to pass. If I read 100 pages, can I retain all of those for the exam? Absolutely no. And when it comes to answering the questions in the exam, you have to follow nice endometriosis and not the Escherich's endometriosis, because RCOG has not replaced the nice with the Escherich's, right? So for knowledge, yes, for your practices, you want to go through that. Escherich's is a very good guideline. But if you want to score in the exam, nice endometriosis is the one you have to do. So instead of 100 pages, you have to go through only 10 pages. So this choosing the right source will help you choosing the right answer in the exam. So you should know the right sources, and then you make a list like this and try to incorporate the talks then and there. Because if you do not incorporate the talk here, then you will not come to know how to answer. Because like male infertility, we have got two talks. There is an old talk of 2013 and there is a talk of 2017. So both have the information. So now how to answer the questions? Shall I go with the 2013 or shall I go with the 2017? Since the 2017 is published, so shall I just omit 2013? You can't do so. Because the things which are covered in the 2013 talk, they all are not covered in 2017. So you have to go through the both of the talk articles. Now, if you don't go through these talk articles here, nice infertility also has a component of male infertility management. So how will you correlate these two things? Then everything will be different and your opinion will be different. So finally, you have to combine everything and you have to come to the proper answer, which is required for your exam. After reading all this, you have to frame 10 sentences on which your questions, your answers are going to be based in exam. So this is the way you can create yourself for yourself the module wise schedule. Now with the module wise schedule, there is another important advantage is that the books which are arranged module wise, you can solve those books simultaneously. So at least what you are reading, you can fix your information there. So if you want to self-study, try to create such type of list for all your modules. And once you are doing this module, don't leave it here. Solve your questions as well, right? Question solving is the very, very important part of this exam preparation. Anytime you feel that the answer of any question does not matches what is written in the guideline, please do refer to some mentor or to some of your seniors who have prepared for the exam, because many a times on the first look, when we look at the question, we think that the answer does not match here, right? So maybe the answer is wrong. But many of the times it is actually their trick. There is some rule behind that. There is some trick behind that. So once you should be able to ask somebody so that you can clear your doubts. Don't mug up things. Just try to understand the concept behind the questions, because the concepts repeat. Even the questions do not repeat in exam, but the concepts repeat. So your concept have to be very, very clear when to choose what type of scenario I'm going to choose, what answer. So this is a very important part of exam preparation. Right? Everybody agrees to this? Okay? Okay. So now, yes. Anything else? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Naina. So now the next thing is flow diagram, how to read these guidelines. Okay. So when I talk about how to read this guideline, so basically this is the executive summary. This is the most important part, but don't stop here. Don't stop here. Okay. because this is important, but this is actually not the only thing which you need to talk about, right? Because the small points in the guideline, the small percentages inside the guideline are also very important, right? So the small percentages inside the guideline, they also carry a significance. So this, but actually this summary is important for answering your EMQs, right? Because you get the rules from here, but you cannot omit the insight points unless and until somebody has picked up those insight points and is giving you as it is. These are the algorithms which you can see at the back of your guidelines. Most of the EMQs you will find from, you will be able to solve from these particular algorithms and the flow diagrams. You have to understand these all algorithms, one, and even the simple words like and, or, but, they can make a difference in your exam answers, right? So each and every word and each and every arrow leading to next step is most important while you are reading these algorithms. So just to explain you how there is a gap between the guidelines and questions, I'm taking up a recall question here. So now this is a rule from the endometrial hyperplasia guideline. We know that endometrial surveillance should be arranged at a minimum of 6 monthly intervals. Although review schedule should be individualized and responsive to changes in the woman clinical conditions. This is endometrial hyperplasia without atypia. We know that we have to do 6 monthly surveillance for these patients, right? This rule we all know. Everybody knows this? Okay. So now the exam question, this was a recent recall from the exam. A woman with BMI 38 has come to you and she had Mirena inserted 4 months back in some other hospital, for which there are no details. And she has endometrial biopsy done 6 months back. So biopsy was 6 months back and she was diagnosed endometrial hyperplasia without atypia 6 months back. But she got the Mirena inserted 4 months back in some other hospital. How will you counsel this woman for the next step? Biopsy after 2 months, okay. Biopsy now, okay, good. Yes, any other answers? Any more? Yes. Biopsy now, okay. Yes, Dr. Vani, biopsy now. Dr. Riddhi, annual biopsy, no biopsy needed. Biopsy now, yes. Dr. Manikam, after 2 months, okay. So now, let's see. What is the information given here? So information given is 6 months back, she was diagnosed with endometrial hyperplasia without atypia. So what does the guideline says? We have to do a 6 monthly biopsy, right? We have to do the surveillance after 6 months. So according to that rule, it is biopsy now. Now they have added a point here that Mirena was inserted 4 months back. Mirena was inserted 4 months back. So how does this affect this particular rule? How does this affect? Is it affecting or is it not affecting? Anytime she gets Mirena, is it affect or it does not affect? Does it affect your answer or it does not affect? I think those who are going with the the biopsy now, for them, it is not making a difference. But for those who are going for biopsy after 2 months, they are calculating it from the day of the Mirena insertion. Right? Is this right? This is how you all are going? Okay. So now, if we go back and we read the rule, it says that surveillance should be arranged at 6 monthly intervals. That does not mention that it is to be arranged from the day you start the progesterone. It doesn't mention that, right? So the correct answer is biopsy now. This 4 months back Mirena insertion is a distractor for you. Guideline nowhere mentions that that you have to do the 6 monthly biopsy from the date of starting the progesterone. Not mentioned. It just mentions that endometrial biopsy has to be done from the 6 months, right? So once you have diagnosed, you have to do the biopsy at 6 months, right? So the correct answer is biopsy now. Now you know that if you haven't solved anything like this, then in exam you may become confused and you are likely to go with a different answer. So solving questions, applying the rules makes a significant impact on your exam preparation. Right? Everybody with me on the same page? You all are with me? Agree? You can just show your thumbs up. Yes, good, good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So basically now talking about the exam format, just a bit, although many of you know this, but some are new students for the part 2. So this is computer-based test and there are 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Here we have 2 types of questions. We have single best answers and we have extended matching questions. Single best answers worth 40% of the total marks and extended matching are 60% of the total mark. Although the total questions are 100, right? Total questions are 100, 50 are SB and 50 are EMQ, but the percentage of the marks for the EMQs is more. SBs are same as we used to have in our part 1 exam. There is a STEM, there are 5 options, you have to choose one. While in the EMQs, you have a STEM, a big STEM. There is a clinical scenario and then you have almost 18 to 20 options and you have to choose one. So there is very, very less chance that you can choose a correct answer by chance. You need to know the answer and that too you have to fix your answer that you will choose only this one. So you should actually, after reading the clinical scenario, you should know the correct answer and then you can just go and search that answer in those options and tick it. If you are going to look at the options first, then most likely you are going to miss it and going to be the wrong. So this is how the paper goes. So now we have talked about how we can prepare our own timetable. We can prepare with the help of guideline wise or we can prepare it with the module wise and simultaneously talk about the questions. So do expertise matters? How we go with that, right? Like if I tell you that I have this 1 week for the fertility module, right? So now I have divided this into topic wise because in exam, you don't have questions guideline wise. In exam, you have questions topic wise. If they are talking about the ovulation disorders, they may talk about type 1, type 2, type 3, right? Similarly, male infertility, there is NICE guideline, there is TOG article. So all these have to be merged to come to the answers. So when I talk about male infertility topic, I have all the things from the strategy, from the TOG articles, from the NICE, and I've just mixed them all to make the concept clear in a 30 minutes video. Right, so I will give you the videos. When we start with the fertility module, I'll give you the videos. You go through the ovulation disorders video and solve the questions there. Now the questions are also arranged according to topic wise. While you are reading the ovulation disorders, you can immediately practice the questions there. Then and there, whatever I have talked about in the video, you can solve your questions there. And Telegram group is always open to ask your all queries. Next day, I tell you, go through the male infertility video and solve your questions. How much time you are spending? 30-40 minutes for the video and 30-40 minutes for the worksheet. 1 to 2 hours a day. Next day, you go through the male infertility and do your worksheet. Third day, go through the ART and do your worksheet. OHSS, do your worksheet. Tubal factors, go do your worksheet. 5 days, maybe I'll give you 7 days to do all these videos and you have covered this and you have solved these worksheets. These worksheets are from the books only. Okay, so there are also from the books and some of the important sources of the questions and they are being arranged topic wise. so that what you are reading, you can practice there, right? Now, after this, we meet in a live session, right? Once you have got the basic concept of all the topics, we meet in the live session. When we meet in the live session for sub-fertility, initial 30-40 minutes will be dedicated on tables. The tables and the algorithms which I have created for you to answer the question directly, like a table of male infertility scenarios. What are the possible scenarios which can come in exam, and what are the answer you are going to choose there? So as simple as the rule in one line. If this is a scenario, choose this answer. If this is a scenario, choose this answer. Right? So we now, because if I teach you all of these topics in a live session, then it's going to be a huge session. Or if I make it 2 live sessions, 3 live sessions, you won't be able to join, because my purpose is to save your time and make you read at your own convenience. I don't want to hold you back here, right? You have your own time, go read it, right? I'm always there with you at your back. We are meeting regularly at the live sessions. So in live session, when I focus only upon the important points, there is a great probability that you will remember those points, because we have talked only about the 20% things, right? We have left the 80% which was not repeatedly asked in the exam. This 20% which is going to help you in answering 80% of the exam questions, I am focusing on that. And then and there, when I formulate the rules, I also take up the questions so that you can just apply those rules there, and you find that, yes, these rules are suitable. Yes, we can answer the questions according to these rules. That builds up your confidence, that builds up your expertise in solving those questions. And by the time we end this all exercise, we have solved almost 200 questions for a particular module, maybe 200 to 300 questions for this module. And since you are solving 10-20 questions daily, so you are building a stamina also. The speed of solving the questions is also increasing. So this particular exercise, within 8 or 9 days, you have covered everything about the sub-fertility. You have covered the RCOG learning. You have covered all the content in the guidelines, talk articles, everything. You have covered your books as well. So have I saved your 70% time? What do you say? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Everybody agrees. Anybody who feels that no, this is not correct? Right? So yes, this definitely, yeah. So this definitely saves your time. Everything, that's what my alumni was telling you, that everything is just lined up in front of you. You just have to go through. This is just a sneak peek into our portal. How do you find there? So this is like we are talking about the early pregnancy module. So you can see the first video session talking about the miscarriage. And then you have a quiz here. Then this is the video session which is talking about the ectopic pregnancy. See, in ectopic pregnancy also, if you take, there is a nice guideline. There is a GTG. There is a cesarean scar ectopic pregnancy talk. So all this merged into 30-40 minutes video. And I also give you access to the PDFs of these videos also. They are online access, so you can even access those also. And then there is a quiz based on the ectopic pregnancy. So you can practice your questions here. So like this, you can just go ahead with your all the topics, and this way we cover all our modules. So these are the live sessions, the glimpse of the live session.
Normal semen analysis.
These are video sessions.
After 3 months. If there is a normal semen analysis, repeat semen analysis after 3 months. While if there is a gross spermatozoa deficiency, there is azoospermia or there is severe oligozoospermia, then repeat it as soon as possible.
So this was the video session, and this is the glimpse of our live session.
Absolutely correct. It's an absolutely correct answer. So basically, we have to do the wedge biopsy. Why we have chosen this? Because right now
On examination, it seems that it is a vulval carcinoma, but we haven't done any histopathology. Unless and until we prove this on the histopathology, we can't say that this is carcinoma, and by that time we cannot even stage and we cannot plan a further treatment.
So live sessions are totally interactive. It is nothing like that I am teaching and you are listening. It's not that. It is 100% interactive session and you actively participate in that. While we are talking about these questions, while we are solving, what we are doing is we are fixing rules. And these rules are the mainstay for the EMQ mastery.
How to have it. By attending the live session, what for the difference between the pixel was now with her, I spoke with her, got to know the difference between these four questions, and I was getting quite a bit confused. I was not at all confused between two of them. I was very clear.
So basically, this is how our recipe of ensuring success in 70% less study time works. This is the just a schedule. You can check out this. So here it is of fertility. Like I've started from 20th and I'm completing it on the 30th. So these are for the video sessions. Then there is a live session and then there are 2 more days to cover up your worksheets, right? So like this, we cover module wise, go ahead. This was for the last exam. So it was just to show you that how we cover various modules one by one. And once we cover all these modules, we cover all these modules at least 2 months before the exam, 2 to 2.5 months before the exam. This time we are going to cover all this syllabus by 10th November. We have already posted the schedule in our course group. So we are covering all these modules by the 10th November. Exam is on the 23rd July. So after the 10th November, we will be solving recalls in the live session. There will be revision sessions and recall sessions. So recalls also we are doing year-wise on the website. I'm giving you in the written on the website. And in live sessions, we are talking about the module-wise recalls. We have even divided the recalls into module-wise. Because when you revise, you are revising it module-wise. You revise subfertility. I give you 3 days to revise the subfertility. And then I give you a test link, which is totally from the recalls, right? So once you do that, then we discuss the recalls in the live session. So because you have done the test, you know, you have assessed yourself where you stand. You have assessed where you are confused. So we can discuss all your confusions and we can clear those points then and there in all the sessions. Then we have this type of sessions for all the modules. And finally, we finish up this all exam preparation by doing a mock test, paper 1 and paper 2. Again, we have a mock paper discussion. That is also from one of the recent recalls, whatever the year we are going through. Then we have a separate recall discussion session for the last exam. Like this time, we have the session for January 2024 recalls. So next time it will be session for the July 2024 recalls live session. We discuss completely there so that I can tell you, because recalls are not exactly what are there in the exam. This is what students remember. So when we do in the live session, we talk about the concepts around it. So even if the question shifts here or there a bit, you're still able to get it that, oh my God, this is from the same question. Then in the last, for 3-4 days, we have the 3-4 days, we have the EMQ workshop. So polish your EMQs in the end again. And these are also from the recalls. So we are covering books, we are covering the recalls, we are covering the strategy and all important exam sources for the questions. When is the part 2 exam? It will be, I think it's 22nd and 23rd January. So 22nd is for the part 2 and 23rd is for the part 3. Sorry, 22nd is for the part 1 and 23rd is for the part 2. It is, as far as I remember, maybe one day here or there, right? Okay. So this is how we are going to cover. Now, basically, either you spend so many hours or you spend with us, the choice is yours. So this is something from one of, okay, 22nd is part 2. Okay, then fine, Dr. Vani. Thank you for correcting me. Maybe that is what I was saying. I'm missing one date here or there. So 21st is, I think, part 1 and 22nd is part 2. Thank you for correcting. So this is one of our candidates who passed in January. She is right now preparing for part 3. So she says the things are concise and crisp, and it is learning is fun with us and it is doable. Another one, this is the candidate who has gone through 2 attempts. She could not pass through. She has read the guidelines to the depth. And you see that how she has written that even the sight of the guidelines would make me nauseated. But then ultimately, she was recommended by one of her friends and she find it very motivating. This is her audio review. You can just go through this also.
And a friend told me about Dr. Bhavna's course and how question-oriented and algorithmic approach is there to her teaching. As I went through Bhavna ma'am's course, I got a bit more confident while I answered the exam as well. Because when you see the question and you see the options, you're like, okay, this is how it is. This option doesn't go. This option doesn't go. Okay, this is the only probable one. You already know the answer when you read the question. That's the difference I felt in myself after I joined ma'am's course. I would 100% recommend this to each and every one who is preparing for MRCOG Part 2 exam. It's not just about the less amount of time required to prepare. It's also the systematic approach that ma'am has that is different from other courses.
Schedule is starting from the 22nd January. Yes, Dr. Deepti. So it is starting from the 22nd January, 22nd July. So best thing is if you want to, like anybody who, or Dr. Deepti is already enrolled candidate, but anybody who wants to join, you should join as early as possible. Because as you join, you will get a website access and you can start going through the videos. And once you start going through this, it will be easier for you to participate more actively in the live sessions and get the maximum benefit. This is how our students rate us. So this is another Dr. Suvarna saying that we have covered everything and that too without a single extra money. So our one fees includes everything. We don't charge you separately for any of these things. And this is her review.
I'm Dr. Suvarna. I'm practicing gynecology since 17 years in 2021. But my part 1 option which were given in the end, it was very difficult to sort out. And I was not able to clear my part 2 in my first attempt. After the result, I was very disheartened and depressed, and I thought that I will quit the exam because I have tried. And I thought that now it is not possible for me to study anything more. But when I attended that rescue session of Dr. Bhawna, and she was with such a smiling face and very positive attitude. And ma'am told me that it is not because of your intelligence, but I just few tricks and tips which we need to understand. It is just like mathematics. It is just like mathematics. That time I actually did not believe her that it would be so simple. But I thought that I would give one more try. And I tried for the second attempt. And I joined ma'am's course. And believe me, it was such a fun learning with her. Ma'am had short videos, and we just had to learn or listen to that videos of like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, which used to cover all DBGs and NIEs or related talks, everything that country matter, and that to very friendly language. When ma'am used to take that live sessions, it was purely based on the strategy. And ma'am always encouraged to give her answers, like not the right answers, but the wrong answers, and why we should not use that wrong answer. And it was very helpful. So when I attempted my part 2 exam in the second attempt, it was very easy. And for each, the MQs were tricky and they were difficult. But I used to remember ma'am's words, and it was very easy that time to answer the EMQs, which were the toughest part in the part. So it was really nice to be with ma'am. And it is said that the great people, they don't do different things. They do the same thing, but differently. And this is what exactly Bhawna ma'am does. She doesn't teach you very different things. She teaches the same, but in a very different way, where we can understand what the crux of MRCOG part 2 is and what exactly is required for the exam. I'm very happy to be a part of ma'am's course, and now I cleared my part 2, and this is all because of ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am. And for my friends who are appearing for MRCOG part 2, I will just tell them that the GTGs and guidelines, everything we read, and that is all evidence-based. So what I will suggest that you join ma'am's course and you see that is evidence, and that will be proven in your exam scores too. So best of luck to all of you, and thank you so much. Thank you for it.
Thank you, Dr. Vani. Yes, many of your friends were with me. Thank you so much. So this is how we finish our course by the EMQ workshop, which we conduct few days before the exam. Our alumni are bright. So every day we feel so much happy to help the maximum number of the students across the world and in many countries. So yes, Dr. Deepti, the schedule for part 2 for January is updated in Telegram group. If so, I missed it, ma'am. Can you post it again? Yes, it is posted and it is pinned also in the Telegram group. And it will be added to the website also tomorrow. So you will find it there also, right? Yes, I can post it again for you as well. These are few or more of the reviews, those who have gone through us. So this is the invitation to join, a call to success. And let me tell you, we have unlimited access. We have access till you pass. We don't bound our course by 6 months, 1 year. Why? Why it is so? Because I believe that if you are with me, it is my commitment to make you pass. So everything you need to pass is to be provided by me. It should not be piecemeal that I'm providing this, rest you do it on your own. It's not like that. If you are with me, my commitment is to make you pass. That is why it is unlimited. But somehow, if somebody is not able to pass in one exam or is not able to attempt the exam, or there are some circumstances, or sometimes this has also happened that one of the student has gone to the exam center, but she could not appear in exam because of her like name or maybe ID problems, or many of things they come up. Many of the unavoidable circumstances are there. So your course fee does not go waste. We are committed till you pass, right? So you just keep on continuing with us, and no need to just pay again for this. Your course has the access till you pass. Best thing in your course, I'm touched. Thank you so much with your individual attention to all students. Thank you. I really do and try to do that for all of my students. Can I help you with anything else today? Your questions are welcome. Session is open for your questions. I have briefed you about the syllabus, I have briefed you about the strategies, and I have briefed you how we help. Now it's time for you to ask your questions. Thank you, Dr. Vijaya. Thank you, Dr. Suma. Any questions? Thank you, Dr. Hani. Any questions from anyone? Anything you want to discuss about your exam study, your way of preparation, anything? Thank you, Dr. Rani. Thank you, Dr. Suma. No questions. Oh my God, so cute. Thank you, Dr. Vani. So stop saying I wish and start saying I will. I will. Welcome to success. Enjoy the road to success. Enjoy the journey with us, and you can enroll as early as possible. And whatever help you need from my side, you are most welcome. We have an open Telegram group, and I think many of you must be there in the group. If not, you can join us. It is MRCOG Courses Part 2 community, and you can just join in. We do often do discussions, free sessions, and you can also follow us on the YouTube, Bhawna Khera Gynae. Thank you, Dr. Aishwarya. Yes, Dr. Lakshmi, do we need to become RCOG associate? That's absolutely your choice. Becoming RCOG associate gives you an opportunity. They will give you access to the strategy, right? So strategy is like a complete RCOG e-learning portal. Yes, it is a very good thing to do it for the exam. But again, if you are going to do it on your own, then it's fine. But if you want the summarized thing, then you don't need to become the associate. But yes, it gives you an opportunity to access the complete e-learning platform. So that is the advantage of the RCOG associate, and that is important part of course material for part 2 exam. Yes, thank you, Dr. Suma. Yes, please. And Dr. Abhimola, we are following you back to back. When the earliest time to finish the syllabus? 10th November, we are finishing our syllabus. Yes, 10th November, we are finishing, and then we'll start our revision. I think there was one more question, Ed. Yes, when is the first session going to be? It is starting from 22 July. Right? Anything else? Fine. Okay, thank you so much everyone for joining in today and making this session successful. And MRCOG courses, I'm always there to help you throughout. You will tell us what to read before sessions. Yes, I'll give you the videos, the PDFs before my live session, right? So that you have gone through the basics when you come to the live session. Yes, all the material summarized form is given to you. You don't have to go and do all this work for yourself. Next class, I've posted the schedule in the Telegram group, Dr. Abimbola, so you can just check there. And also the schedule will be updated on your website also tomorrow. Right, so we are starting from 22nd July. Okay, okay, bye-bye. Good night, take care, bye-bye. Okay, you are waiting for the part 1 result, submit the fee. So you can see, because many of the students have actually joined prior to result as well, because as I said, we have unlimited access. So most of the times you pass the part 1 and then you can just keep on preparing with us. God forbid, if anything goes like that, then still your access continues till you pass. So I believe that it's a good time to start for the part 2 preparation, because if we delay the preparation, then we have less time for the January exam. Right now, if you start with the schedule, then it becomes very easy, right? My all the best wishes for your part 1 result. You will do it.